Today we've got two BMWs from two completely different eras. We've got ourselves a 118i and a 125i, and we're going to look at how BMW has evolved over the years, for better or for worse. And at the end of this, I'm going to tell you which one of these two cars I'd probably buy. Back in 2007, BMW introduced the 1 Series Coupe, and that thing came in 120D, 125i, and 135i. The latter of the two were equipped with an inline-6 engine, which is monstrous. You're going to hear this in a second. The design language of the day was very muscly and power bulges, which we can see in this car. This thing even has flared wheel arches. Another car of that era that really looked good was the BMW E90, E92 shape. This, for me, is a timeless design. Some of you may remember the name Chris Bangle. He was a BMW designer back in the day. He was responsible for vehicles like the BMW M6 and the BMW 7 Series, specifically the White Chicks 7 Series, the movie, right? If you've seen that. He was known for these outrageous designs. If you look back at the M6 or the 7 Series or any of the cars that he was responsible for designing, all of them were just outrageous. He left BMW and things went back to normal. The guy who's taken over is basically trying to be like Chris Bangle. So, needless to say, things have changed. So, let's take the 125i for a drive. This is very familiar to me as a person who's driven many BMWs, and I am a fan, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of the way BMW cars drive, right? And this is classic BMW. Firstly, this thing is powered by a 3-litre inline-6. Yes, it's a 3-litre inline-6, and it's such a tiny little car. It's actually crazy that they used to do that, right? And the 135 was just a fire-breathing dragon. Power-wise, we're good for, 160 kilowatts in here and 310 Newton meters of torque, which is, for a car this size, plenty enough. I don't think you'd need more than that. You could, upgrade everything and get more than that. The car is quite low to the ground, so we just touched the bodywork on the speed bump there. This is a naturally aspirated engine, right? This is before the era of turbocharged engines, and we're going to talk about the turbocharging of things when we get into the 118i. But when BMW was still making these cars, it was naturally aspirated engines that sounded really, really good. This thing sounds so good. I'm just driving in a neighborhood here with a lot of speed bumps, so I can't really do much at the moment. But when we do get to a place where we can do things, you will know all about it. Now let's talk about the drive, right? The one thing that era, or this era of BMW cars was known for, was the handling and driving dynamics. It had, or they had, because if you jumped into this or jumped into an E90 shape, listen to that. the inline-6 is howling to life, which I love. I just wish this thing was in manual. It would be a whole different story. So this era of cars, 1 Series, 3 Series included, had a planted driving feel. Everything still feels mechanical here. The steering wheel and the steering system was still hydraulic, and it's just such a good feel. It's so direct. You know exactly what the car's doing. You feel everything because it's mechanical, and that hydraulic steering wheel. Newer cars are electrically powered in terms of steering wheel, and that does take away a bit of feel and precision from the wheel. The one thing I've always loved this era of cars for, especially in terms of handling and driving, is the planted feel. So this thing really feels like it's on rails, and that's what BMW cars were known for in that era. Now, the BMW 118i is vastly different from the 125i. Things have changed over the last 16 years, I'll tell you that. The drive and feel here, first impressions, as soon as you get into this thing, it is super refined. So this is the kind of car that you can use as a daily and drive around daily without much effort. It's so effortless in the way that it drives. It's so easy to drive. BMW has done something that's rather interesting, and it's part of their cost-cutting strategy, right? So this is powered by a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder engine. So literally half the size of that engine is what's in here. It's actually crazy to even think about that, right? It's half the size. So this is good for about what, 150 odd kilowatts. And I'll put the torque on the screen. I'm forgetting the torque number, but I'll put both of them on the screen. The thing is here is it may seem like small numbers in terms of engine size and displacement, but these tiny little things have a lot of punch. So this thing is very, very punchy. It sounds discouraging to have a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder, but this thing really does move. It's actually very, very rapid for a 3-cylinder, and that is the way technology has gone. I mean, this is far quicker than that 125i. However, where are you going to have the most fun? That sounds very, very good. This just sounds like a sewing machine gently doing its thing, right? But it is quick. The steering wheel in this car is obviously electronically aided, so it is very light and just easy to drive. You know, anyone can get in and drive this thing and be very comfortable very quickly, which is nice for a daily car, right? It's an automatic gearbox, BMW's dual clutch gearbox, and it just does the job effortlessly. Fuel consumption is obviously way better here. We're averaging 5.9 liters per 100 on the sewing machine, which is brilliant, especially if you're using the car as a daily car. Fuel is expensive. It doesn't cost as much as it cost 16 years ago. So this is a 16-year-old car, 2010, and this is what you can expect. Back then, everything was still analog and mechanical. Essentially what that means is the instrument cluster is very much analog. It's still real dials. I love the M Sport steering wheel in this car. It's very chunky. I've always loved it. Even in the E90 shapes, E91, E92, the M Sports versions of those cars had this steering wheel. Now, the biggest thing here is the fact that you still have buttons everywhere. You still have buttons for your AC. So for instance, if I want to turn up the aircon, or if I want to turn it on, I simply push a button without having to look down or away from the road. If I want to turn it up, I do the same thing. There's a dial here to turn it up, as well as my radio. We still have a mechanical gear selector, as well as a manual handbrake. For a 16-year-old car, I must say that the leather has held up quite well. They were still building cars the way cars were meant to be built. In this modern car, things are a lot more refined in here, from the leather to the steering wheel, which is also very chunky, if I must say. The difference here is there's a lot of tech and electronics, right? So you get two screens, two big screens. You get one here and another here, which is basically your instrument cluster. So you're not just seeing your speed and your rev counter here. You're seeing a whole bunch of other things. Whatever you want to see, it's on here. The only thing with the whole screen thing is that they've omitted buttons and dials, right? So if you want to adjust your aircon in here, you've got to take your eyes off the road because it is a screen and you don't actually have buttons. So you've got to dig into a screen, turn the aircon on, and to turn it up, you also have to be fidgeting around with the screen. Any car settings that you need are in the screen. Down here, they've omitted the hardware. So you no longer get a mechanical handbrake like you do. Things have changed. It's just a button, a park button, and they've done away with the gear selector as well. So it's just a little lever that you pull backwards or forwards. The other thing are the seats, right? So we are getting leather seats in this thing. But the difference is, and the difference that has come with 16 years, is that if you want these seats cooled or heated as a feature that you would ordinarily pay for, they'll give it to you. The only difference is with this modern car is that you subscribe to that feature every month. Now, there's obviously a 16-year gap between these two cars. This is modern and new, and you can see it and feel it. People know it's new. However, the 125i still does turn heads. The difference between these two cars is that you've got a whole lot of tech here, all the niceties that you might want if you want to check on this and check on that. Over there, you've got a driver's car, 3-liter inline 6. It still drives the way that you would want to drive a BMW. If you want reliability and a car that you're going to use every day, going to work, coming back, you might want to buy the 116. But if you want a car that's going to give you all the thrills and is still going to be a good looking car 10, 15, 20 years from now, you might want to consider that. That's what I would buy.